welcome to my latest experiment. This is a big one, the one I've been waiting for all my life.
What is it?
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Oh my God.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
And I am the voice of the voiceless.
And there is no one that does it better.
The Guy and Harley podcast, streaming all over your face.
Perhaps that was the most important part.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Pigville on the internet. I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. Welcome along to the Guy and Harley podcast. I'm Guy Pigden.
And I'm Harley Neville, and that was not a song lyric.
It wasn't. It was a segue into who's dead this week.
Bill, what happened? Ted? We're dead, dude. No way. Yes way.
And who is dead this week? Well, actually the greatest. The greatest is dead this week. Because Muhammad Ali finally lost his battle with Parkinson's and passed away a couple of days ago.
He would come to the gym, and if he didn't get a ride to the gym, he didn't have no car. He would run. He would run across the causeway.
Muhammad Ali, one of my great heroes, had a great line in the 70s when he was asked, how many sit-ups do you do? He said, I don't count my sit-ups. I only start counting when it starts hurting. When I feel pain, that's when I start counting, because that's when it really counts. That's what makes you a champion.
Jerry, I'm the greatest fighter that ever stepped foot in the ring. Money will be lost that night. This will be the biggest upset in the century of all boxing.
I think you're a big bag of wind. Damnedest showman that ever lived, and you ain't kidding anybody.
The odds are 7-1. It's very big odds for a heavyweight championship fight.
It has to be listed. Liston is a much bigger puncher.
While these big mouth people talking about I talk too much, well, I want all of them to be there, and I'm going to shut up all of his mouth.
And Cassius Clay has won after 6 rounds.
And the world mourns. You know, this is a biggie. In terms of who's dead this week, this might be our biggest who's dead this week. Would you agree?
Bigger than Prince. And
bigger than Prince, for sure. For sure, Prince, yeah.
Well, I like him more than Prince.
I mean, he's more of a long time, because he's been around a lot longer, but he's also, you know, he's thought of in some circles as the greatest boxer of all time, but also like kind of like, you know, Prince is a great musician. No one gives a fuck about anything else about him, you know, whereas Muhammad Ali says all these cool quotes. He kind of taught himself. He, you know, was this, you know, very charismatic personality who was also an exceptional boxer, you know, was famous for doing all sorts of stuff like that America hated him for at the time, and then, you know, sort of 10, 20 years later, championed him for, and sort of thought he, you know, and, you know, did some, like, whether it was intentional or unintentional, you know, being a, like, you know, he went to jail in his prime for 3 years, arguably his 3 best years, because he did not want to fight in the Vietnam War.
Yeah, well, that's one of my favourite things about him,
yeah.
the whole conscientious objector thing.
Yeah, that was looking for that word, but that's the one.
That is quite a big deal.
It's huge, and especially at that time, because if you imagine now, it'd almost be saying like, I'm not going to fight in some terrorism thing in America. Yeah. You know, the amount of hate that you would receive, the amount of backlash. There was no, like, obviously there was this huge movement, but for the general populace, and especially because he was a black man, and, you know, in 1962, 63, I guess this was around, he was, you know, like, race was a huge issue already. So he had so many things counting against him. You know, it's a wonder that at that time he wasn't murdered. It is a wonder. But he didn't get murdered. He went on to be, you know, sort of lauded for those actions ultimately, and seen as you know, one of his great things he did, and it wasn't even in the ring. So, you know, it is pretty sad. I mean, I have a Muhammad Ali tattoo. Let that sink in for a second. I have a Muhammad Ali tattoo.
It's literally right next to his Star Wars tattoo.
That's true. So you can see how much respect I have for this guy. It says, the will must be stronger than the skill, which is another one of his quotes. Or one of his memes. Yeah. We don't really know what's true or not.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming it is one of his quotes. It seemed to be when I sort of looked into it at the time, and I think it's very true. It's not really about how good you are. That's definitely a part of it, but really it's, sort of continuing on when no one else will. The better people won't. So the better people give up and you take their place, basically. It's not always about talent. It's about perseverance, especially in this industry, or so I keep telling myself.
Yeah.
So...
Well, I've got a quote here.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Women are not equal with men. That's sure. When the woman is in danger, she always looks to the man for help. We are superior by nature. The black or white woman needn't worry in life because the world is ruled by the white man.
Well,
he didn't like women. I think it was the whole Islamic thing.
Right. He also didn't like white people. Understandably so.
Yeah.
He was completely justified in not liking white people. So, obviously he had some controversial views. Not everything he did was golden, right? He did come from a different time. You have to understand too. There was female equality was not really, that was only just beginning, and it's certainly from his background growing up, completely uneducated, having to teach himself to read and write. And you can imagine, even if there were strong female figures, it's not like it is today, guys. There was no Twitter. No. So, and there are some other dubious quotes, but overall, in terms of a life well lived, he really did a lot in his time, did some huge things, and, sad to see him go.
My conscience won't let me go shoot my brother or some darker people or some poor, hungry people in the mud for big, powerful America and shoot them for what? They never called me nigger. They never lynched me. They never put no dogs on me. They never robbed me of my nationality, raped and killed my mother and father. What, I'm going to shoot them for what? How can I go shoot them? Them little poor little black people, little babies and children and women. How can I shoot them poor people? Just take me to jail.
Ali more than held his own against students who had a far better formal education than he.
I'm saying you talking about me about some draft, and all of you white boys are breaking your neck to get to Switzerland and Canada and London. I'm not going to help nobody get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm going to die, I'll die now, right here fighting you. If I'm going to die, you my enemy. My enemy is the white people, not Viet Congs or Chinese or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home.
Rest in peace, my friend.
All right, cool. Well, look, we better jump right back into feedback from last week's episode.
Yep.
We're talking about sperm.
Yep.
We're talking about sperm donors.
Yep.
We're talking about me
being one of them,
bettering the lives of infertile people by selflessly offering my sperm up. Now, we didn't get as much feedback as I'd hoped.
Yeah.
It was all quiet from the regulars. Jeremy Housen, nothing to say.
Yeah, he wasn't interested.
Nick Cesardi, nothing to say.
Bored.
Jason Coombs, nothing. Chris Simons, nothing. Liam Hegarty, nothing.
No.
All the regulars, nothing.
Sometimes if you don't have something nice to say, Harley, you don't say it.
Now, we did get a small amount of feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Gordon Parkhurst, he says, I'm a big fan of sperm, but I'm not really sure. He's on the fence.
Yeah, he's
like sperm, but on the fence about me donating.
Yeah.
And then now Paulette Edzer, she says, now she's creating a film called Internationum. So go and find that on Facebook. Internationum. Go find that on Facebook and hit like. I have a small part in it, so go check that out if you get the chance. Now she said here, whoa, this is referring to last week's episode. Whoa, that got a bit heated. Even my kid who walked in and listened got pissed off and started ranting over sperm donating. and I was like, okay. Well, I was like, but whose side was she on?
Yeah.
To which Paulette replied, yours, all the way. Until a few seconds ago when you talked about shitting your pants, then she said, maybe Guy has a point. Maybe it's just Harley's sperm that he's against being given out to infertile people.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
So they're on my side, but, you know, they can't help. They want to get a few jokes in there.
Well, what one person is, for sure.
Those are both jokes.
Well, those two people are on your side, yeah.
What, have you got some feedback?
No, I haven't.
No.
But I don't care. But yes, so... Well, we'll continue to monitor that chapter of your life.
Yeah, well, I need to send them a follow-up email and say, what's the fucking story, guys?
You need to send them a follow-up dick pic and go, come on, guys, check this out. What do you think?
Look at what I'm packing.
This is, look how full these balls are.
Check out these balls. They make good sperm.
Check out these balls. They're really ripe for the picking.
Yeah, well, that'll be my next email.
Yeah.
Bit of feedback.
Okay.
Now, this is from the previous episode, which we didn't get to last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Samuel Wheeler had some feedback for us. He said, thanks for the mention, guys, because he had commented on one of our videos. Now, we asked the listeners to tell us whether or not they liked the poetry.
Yeah.
That was what we asked them.
Yeah, that was the other one.
And we got one piece of feedback.
Yeah, again, very quiet.
Very quiet lately.
Tumbleweeds blowing around.
Nobody cares. I love the poetry myself. Also, in regards to used dildos, I did go through this experience myself. We threw the dildo away to the disappointment of the... We threw the dildo away to the disappointment of the next girlfriend.
Yeah.
And did reason with her that she wouldn't have wanted to settle for a used dildo.
That's right.
So he, when they were breaking up, it sounds like they made a very civilized decision between the two of them.
Out of respect.
To throw it away.
Yeah.
And then when the next girlfriend came along, she was like, hey bro, where's the dildo? Have you got a dildo? And he was like, no, I threw it away from my ex-girlfriend. And she was like, I don't care, put it in me. Yeah, interesting. I personally, Samuel, would have thought that perhaps you should just let your ex-girlfriend have it. Like, if you don't want it. And if she's going to just be, and she's going to be single, she's going to be using it on herself.
We don't know. She might have taken it.
Well, no, he said that they threw it away. That's what I'm saying. So
they made a conscientious...
Yeah, so...
conscientious objectors to use dildos.
Yeah, I went through the... Well, maybe he means that he had the dildo.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't between the two of them.
And he was throwing it out for the next one. That's what I thought.
Got it. Yeah, probably that was it. Yeah. Now, he also says here, gratuitous self-advertising.
Mm-hmm.
It's my 66th vlog in a row. Yeah. I'm ahead of Will Fleming by 12 days.
Suck on that, Will.
So we've got vlogging beef here. And also... I'm not just shooting a piece to cam vlog, so check it out and hit subscribe if you feel like giving me some support. Now, his YouTube name is Samuel Wheeler, so if you guys want to go check out his vlogs, please do. Samuel Wheeler.
You hear that, Will? They're coming for you, bro.
12 days ahead, man.
They're right on your back. You best come equipped, son. You best come equipped. Speaking of Will Fleming, just want to give him a quick shout out because I was actually in his vlog the other day. Which I forgot to share. No disrespect. He cut my bit very well. But what I was going to say is that I've been chatting with Will. We hung out. I was an extra for a shoot that he was doing.
Then why the fuck are you walking right through? Like this in the background. What the fuck is it with you?
And he actually hooked me up an acting role in another shoot that he is probably editing, possibly right now. And, hook me up, a cool 150 in my pocket.
$150 for a half day, is it?
Well, for 3 hours work.
Well, that's not bad.
If that.
Acting, man, it's the way to go.
Yep. And I really appreciate that. And also, I chatted with the director. It was quite funny. First funny instance with the director, because I am a director. So I think there's this impression that because I'm a director, I'm going to come in and start trying to direct.
Yeah.
Which is not really true, although I may make a suggestion here and there.
Yeah.
So the very first thing is we were walking to a car, and I was walking too slowly to the car the first time, and I was like, before she said anything, I was like, should I just do it a little bit faster next time? And she was like, yeah, guy, I know I'm directing, okay?
Yeah.
As if, thank you for that direction.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm suggesting to myself this thing.
Also, you're suggesting it as an actor.
Yeah. Not as a director.
Yeah.
I am not being a director here. I'm just as an actor, would this be better for you?
Yeah.
So, but do you see, this is the...
Yeah.
This is the
and now
thing.
You're on the blacklist.
And now I'm on the blacklist, so I'll never be coming back. But it was quite funny. There was also a kid, I made a joke about this on Facebook, there was also a kid who was playing my son. This was also the first time I played a dad.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Not great. I still think of myself as the cool young guy.
Yeah.
Trying to kind of write things like that, where I'm the cool young guy who was definitely not had kids.
Yeah.
And I did the math as well, because this kid was 9, and I was like, that's completely plausible.
Yeah.
That he is my kid.
Yeah.
He's the right age.
Yeah.
This is not unrealistic in any way.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, I did have mixed emotions there, because I was like, man, I'm the dad role now.
Well, I've played dads 5 times
I know,
now.
but that's your bread and butter, Harley. For me, this is a new thing.
That's the difference. So I've been playing dads for probably 3 years, I'd say.
Yeah.
I've been probably my first dad role was about 3 years ago. So that is the difference between going bald and having a head of hair.
Yeah.
There's a 3-year lag where you could still be cast as the cool young dude, and there's no way I'm being cast as anything except for the schlubby dad.
I honestly think I could still be cast as the cool young dude if my hair hadn't gone completely grey.
Okay, well look, this is the perfect segue, because I noticed, this is segueing into 2 other topics.
Yeah.
I noticed in the bathroom there was some dark brown / black just for men hair dye.
That's true.
Do you care to explain to the listeners what's going on here?
I better explain, because it looks dodgy. So basically, I'm shooting a bunch of new acting shots, head shots they call them in the acting biz.
Head jobs.
So basically, it's been sort of 4-ish years since my last batch of photos, and I've aged horribly since then. So the man that they see now is just not really even a close representation of what I look like. Some people look exactly the same.
The baby-faced cherub that you used to be.
In that time period. Not me. Those years have been harsh. So I really needed, and the first thing, I had a meeting with my agent the other day, and she was like, yeah, look, we'd love some new headshots. And I'm like, yeah, I've been meaning to get those, and I have been meaning to get those. I'd been meaning to lose a bit of weight before I got them. Success, drug trial success.
Yeah.
Violently ill, lost a bit of weight. So then I was like, sweet, I better get those photos done. So we started getting the photos, and I was like, well, I better give them. So the first lot of photos I did with my beard. The second lot I did without my beard. And another story about that ad, I actually got that ad because the director had already seen me with my beard and was like, nah, I don't think he's right.
Yeah.
And then Will was like, well, hey, just check him out in this.
Yeah.
Which I believe may have been not wanking. See, he looks completely different without a beard.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, no, he's totally fine without a beard. It's just that disgusting beard was the problem.
Right.
So I took some photos with my beard.
The beard for you has the opposite effect that it has for me.
The beard gets you jobs. The beard... And I totally understand it, because my beard is way different to yours. For starters, it's not really quite as thick. I've just gotta be honest for a minute here.
Just gotta accept it.
Just gotta accept it, right? It's also, my hair is curly, and it kind of at a certain point starts going wavy. Like my beard goes it's not really straight. It starts curling. Harley just did a disgusting fart.
I've done 3.
Wow, that was the first one I heard, because it rocked the chair. It rocked the chair like a punch from Ali in his prime.
Yeah. Well, it's going to rock your nostrils as well soon, mate. It's going to rock the listeners' nostrils soon.
It's going to knock me out like Ali in his prime. So anyway... the beard kind of it's got lots of grey in it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think the big thing with yours is you've got a large patch of grey.
Yeah, huge amounts of grey in it. So it automatically makes me look way older. It also goes kind of curly, so it really, like, if you imagine a grey brown with tinges of red beard, which is sort of going curly when it gets long, it looks very, very feral, very hobo-ish, and, not really like the man of your dreams beard, and so while it can still be quite impressive, it just not in many scenarios.
Now, speaking of acting,
I better explain the hair dye.
Oh, yeah, right.
So the headshot thing is basically like I did it with the beard, I did it with a 5 o'clock shadow, and then I'm going to go back to babyface. I'm going to completely shave and I'm going to dye my hair and say, look, you can have this young man whenever you want. Whenever you have a bottle of Just for Men, I'm here.
Yeah.
Just know that.
Yeah.
So that's why I got that.
It's a good idea.
So I'm looking forward to like temporarily having.
What's going to happen though is
dark hair.
They're probably going to the casting person will look at the photos and go, oh, well, this is what he looks like now, this haggard old bearded freak.
Yep.
And these other photos are his old photos.
Possibly. They might think that.
We're talking of acting.
Yep.
I had an audition.
Oh, good for you. And how was it? I hope it was fucking good because it's useless now, isn't it? Fuck's sake, man, you're amateur.
And it went very well. But it was a no dialogue, the old classic, no dialogue.
Yep.
So pretend this is happening. Look over there. Now you're scared. Now you're happy. Now you're pensive. And it's the worst. It's the hardest type of audition to do, I find. And I never get them. I'm yet to be cast in an audition, in a role that I had an audition with zero dialogue.
It's true. I mean, the only ad I ever got too was there was quite a lot of acting and interplay between the other person.
Yeah.
Which made it much easier to do well and kind of be funny.
Well, this one, if I get it, pays $5,500 for a day's work. Nothing to turn your nose up at.
No.
Now, let me just read the description of the character for you.
Okay.
He's not a klutz. More of a down on his luck type. We don't want a good-looking heroic type.
So you can see why I didn't get an audition.
We don't want a good-looking heroic type. We want an everyman. A slightly Jason Schwartz man. A Jason Segel type. And so they heard that. They heard, my agent heard, okay, we don't want good-looking. We don't need heroic. Harley!
Down on his luck.
Down on his luck. He looks like he's down on his luck. So that went well, and I should be hearing early next week.
Have we got any more fan feedback?
No.
Okay. Well, look, this is a filmmaking podcast.
It's a podcast about our lives.
So I better do a quick filmmaking review because we haven't done one in a long time because there's been so much to talk about. So this is my review in a minute of The Conjuring 2. You know when you start saying The Conjuring...
Sounds like you really say the cunnilingus.
Or the cunt. Like, it really starts going wrong,
Yeah.
I think, especially with a New Zealand accent.
Yeah.
The Conjuring 2. Watched it the other night. Very scary.
You went by yourself, right?
Went by myself, as I'm wont to do. I was actually going to go see a double bill. I was going to go see that and X-Men Apocalypse at the same time.
Cool.
Just fit them both in there. But I had some stuff to do, so I couldn't do that. But Conjuring, super freaky. Probably one of the very rare horror or any kind of sequel. It's definitely better than the original, I think, in my opinion. Scarier, more interesting frights. And it's by the guy that did the first one. And what's interesting is that he directed Fast and Furious 7 before this, right? So he just made a film that made $1.8 billion worldwide. And then he comes back to do this small horror film, which is a sequel, presumably for no other reason that he just loves horror films. And he was just like, fuck it, yeah, this is going to do nothing for my career in terms of like, I'm at such a higher level than these films now, but I just love making these films. So you know that there's a kind of a level of passion and craft being put into it, and I think that really shows on the screen. It's a very masterfully shot. So if you like a good scare, I'd definitely go out and see that. Definitely bring a pair of adult diapers to the cinema if you're a little bit, prone to frights. But definitely worth a watch. So that's my review, The Conjuring 2. Harley Neville, where's your movie review as per Naomi's request?
Let me even think. What was the last thing I watched? I watched something called Prescription Thugs a little while back. It was about prescription drugs in America, and it was a documentary, and it was about wrestlers dying from drug overdoses from all the different things they were taking, and just generally the whole scam in itself, just the whole thing of like marketing drugs to people when they're not really sick and prescribing them, and the doctors benefit directly from prescribing these drugs to people, and in turn the companies benefit but the people suffer. And it was not bad. Prescription Thugs. I did enjoy it. It wasn't really a movie in the sense that you're talking about, but it was a feature-length doco, and it was good.
Right. Okay. Well, look, we should also just talk, while we're talking films, I have to mention Star Wars Rogue One. Did you hear about this? Have you heard about this?
No. Well, I mean, I've seen the trailer.
So we watched the trailer. We talked about the trailer.
Yeah.
It was fucking good.
Yeah.
It was a good trailer. It seemed like a darker, sort of interesting side story.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay. I'm feeling it.
Let me guess, it's been rated G.
No. What's happened, apparently, is first there was rumors that, like, the Disney studio execs are very unhappy, and they've demanded some costly reshoots, right?
Right.
And then everyone came in and said, well, yeah, but they all do reshoots. That's just kind of the thing that studios do now. And look, I'll be the first to tell you, reshoots are good. Reshoots are important. But then, apparently, the further report is they're really not happy. And when they say reshoots, they mean reshooting 50% of the film.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Well, what'd you hear though? Like, is it the execs being fucking dickheads, or is it the film being a steaming pile of shit?
It's a tricky one to know. There's two sides to every story. This happened a while ago. I think we mentioned the Fantastic Four came out a steaming pile of shit, but there's rumors that the director kind of went nuts, but he had a good version of it that just got cut to shreds and all fucked up. Now, in this instance, I guess the interesting thing is that what they said is that they wanted it to be more like Star Wars The Force Awakens, which is very clearly not what that trailer is.
Yeah.
It's saying almost like, hey, you've seen The Force Awakens. Now here's a different style of story in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
And I think that...
that's what I liked about it.
Yeah, me too. And I think the director may have been hoisted on his own petard.
What the fuck does that mean?
It means that basically he's been strung up on his own... those jousting things?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a jousting thing or if it's the flag thing.
A javelin or something.
Yeah, but basically it's like when you hoisted onto that and lifted up. It's from, medieval times.
Right.
But I don't know whether petard is their actual thing for, like, charging at people or whether it's their, flag thing that they get put up on,
Right.
I'm assuming it's the thing that they charge at the other people
that's
with.
called something else. It's not a javelin, but it's called something else. I'm reading Game of Thrones at the moment. I should really know.
Find out what a petard means. I'm sure he's mentioned it. I hope that's what it's called. Anyway, but so he's like, okay, we're going to go in a different direction with this. We're going to do it completely different. We're going to do this dark version. And Disney was like, yeah, that sounds great. And he goes, here you go, guys. Completely different, darker, way different tone. And they go, oh, fuck, no, we're freaking out. This is way too different. We actually just wanted The Force Awakens. And I think that may be what has happened. But apparently the director is not necessarily even going to be involved in the reshoots. It's being supervised by another director who did the Bourne Ultimatum or the last Bourne movie.
So it might be a shitty knockoff of The Force Awakens. It might be The Force Goes Back to Sleep.
Yeah, it might be The Force in a coma. But to be honest, the reshoots thing, I wasn't too worried. But now the 50% thing, now I'm worried because it's like, well, are you just shitifying like something that was kind of unique and original? That's what I'm concerned about. I feel like could be likely. But I guess who knows? Maybe it was just sucking balls. We don't know. We can only speculate as huge, major Star Wars fans, me and Harley that we are.
Don't paint me with the same brush as you. I don't mind it.
Don't hoist you on my petard.
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, harking back to beards just quickly.
Yeah.
I had a funny Uber driver the other day. He was an Indian guy with a big, long beard.
Yep.
And he gave me some good beard advice.
Yep.
Which was to comb it gently with almond oil.
Ooh.
And it would be really soft.
Nice.
But I told him that my girlfriend doesn't like me having the beard.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I thought he was saying that I had to cut it off to keep her happy.
Yeah.
But that's not at all what he was saying. He was like, no, what I'm saying is you've got to keep it just to show her that you won't take her shit. and he was like 50-something-year-old, probably 60. He was probably 60 years old. And yeah, he was really good. Good beard advice.
You know, some beard tips. Maybe we should have a section called beard tips, because you know a lot about beard growing now.
Well, not really. All I do is just don't shave.
Well, no, that's not really true, though, because you gave me a good tip.
What was that?
You were like, you got to keep the mo trimmed down.
Yeah.
So you got to get the mo trim and just around the mouth a little bit trimmed down and let everything else come from below.
Yeah.
And that is good advice, because when your mo gets too long,
it's annoying. It tickles your nose.
And also it just starts
gets in your food.
It looks shit.
It looks shit.
So everyone with a giant beard right now, go and give your mo a trim down. And I guarantee you'll be like, huh.
Beard advice, courtesy of Harley Neville.
It's actually looking pretty good. What else?
Well, tomorrow morning, I am going on my first motorcycle road trip. A little bit concerned. Weather's not really supposed to be that great.
Yep.
But I've got to go to Hamilton. Now, I did mention that I was in this... I'm performing my first poetry gig next month at this event in Hamilton. Now, I still can't say what the event is, but it's a series of very famous talks on YouTube. Let's call them Bob Talks. And I've got a local version of these Bob Talks called Bob X Talks.
Let's just say, if Mark Wahlberg and Seth MacFarlane were involved, you wouldn't be surprised.
That sort of makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Well, neither of them are involved with them.
No, but they're involved with the name of the
movie,
thing.
with something completely different with a similar name. Yeah. All right. So I've got this talk, and I've got to go to Hamilton tomorrow for a rehearsal. Sunny Hamilton.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that tomorrow morning, and then so I thought I'd better go and visit my grandparents as well in Rotorua for keep up appearances.
Yeah. Try and get in the will.
Try and get in the will. I assume I'm definitely not in the will. So yeah, I'm going along for that road trip tomorrow. Rehearsal. A little bit concerned about a number of things. I've got to write like an intro, and I've got to know the intro, and I haven't really done that properly. So, but yeah, that's what's happened with me.
Well, I guess it's time to debut my new segment. My shitty life. So, My Shitty Life, just to recap for people to know, Will Fleming, My Kiwi Life, had some great quotes, inspirational quotes at the beginning of his episodes.
My Kiwi Life has just published its last episode. You saw that, right?
Rest in peace, My Kiwi Life. Was the influence of My Shitty Life on My Kiwi Life stopped My Kiwi Life? Maybe. We don't know. We don't know what Will's thinking. Have my
relentless assaults on his creativity,
my uninspirational quotes got him so down that he's like, yeah, it is a shitty life. I'm giving up. We don't know. It's possible.
Well, you have to listen to the last episode of My Kiwi Life to find out.
You do.
So you can find that if you go on Facebook and search My Kiwi Life. You'll find it there and go check out his podcast. I think he is planning on doing some more in the future. I haven't listened to it yet.
And also, I did have a chat to him about it. He's actually just wants to concentrate more on the vlog because he's more excited by it. And I totally dig that. So anyway, at the beginning of the podcast formerly known as My Kiwi Life, now R.I.P. dead, there was these inspirational quotes from this comedian, Andre King Comedy. His last name was Comedy. I thought that was weird, but whatever. Anyway, he would say stuff like, live your dreams, because if you don't try, you'll never know. And, you know, we all celebrated that and said, good on you. But the thing is, life is not fair. Life sucks balls. Let's be real. You know, it's a shitty life. And so I've basically done the anti-inspirational quotes. And this is my most recent thing.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. They say, do the things you love. No. Do the things you hate. Living in a constant state of despair and misery means that death will no longer be something to fear, but a sweet release to look forward to. My shitty life, I really hate my life today. My shitty life commits suicide on my next birthday. This is my shitty life.
Well, I like that one. I like that one.
Yeah.
Nice and dark.
Yeah.
Don't agree with it.
Well, you take him or leave him, you know?
Yeah, I don't agree with it.
Take him or leave him.
But I do enjoy the blackness of it. You know, the idea of making your own life so miserable that death is no longer...
You no longer fear death.
It's something to be feared. It's something to be
to
look forward to.
There's nothing to fear but death itself.
I see.
So,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's what I'm working on.
Now, this is a filmmaking podcast.
Yeah, it's a podcast about our lives.
And we spent our lives going to work, you and I, in order to save money, in order to buy gear. And we bought some gear today.
We did.
We bought a mixer, a sound mixer to record better audio with, so that hopefully it's easier to shoot our sitcom, which we're tentatively planning on shooting, hopefully this year, right?
Yep.
So yeah, we went and did that. Spent a lot of money, and luckily we have people on Patreon that support us. We have Jeremy and Nick both supporting us on Patreon, and every time we put out a video, they pay us a very small amount of money, and that goes into our PayPal account, and we use that for cool things such as gear and other stuff. So please, guys, if you're interested in supporting us, please go along to Patreon and search Pigville, or go to facebook.com/GuyAndHarley and hit like, and you'll see the Patreon link there. I'll share it.
Yeah, and I'll also say we're also spending an arm and a leg on these fucking festivals. And I don't think we mentioned, I'm not sure that we mentioned, but you can now check out the teaser.
Oh, yeah.
Which
this is important.
Yeah, so the teaser for our new short film, No Caller ID, is
out on the internet.
It's on the interwebs. We were crushed by Facebook's algorithms, unfortunately. So we thought we'd drop this trailer, we'd get hundreds of likes. People would be like, "Hey guys, I'm digging your new thing. It looks really cool. It's scary. Whoa!" Didn't happen.
Yeah, it's had like about 350 views. Which is not bad. It's all
right. But like 3 or 4 likes from like sharing.
No,
it on
you got to explain
50
what you got to explain. It is what it is. We've uploaded it to YouTube first, because on YouTube we make money.
Yeah.
For every single view, we get a minuscule amount of money.
A pittance.
When you get enough views, it does eventually add up.
Yeah.
And so we always upload first to YouTube. Here's a little tip for you.
Yep.
Tip for you filmmakers. We upload to YouTube, and I always share the YouTube version of it around on Facebook and all those other places, and try and direct as much traffic as I can to that before I upload it to Facebook. Because once you upload it to Facebook, you don't get paid, obviously.
Yeah.
Facebook gets paid.
Facebook gets paid
for your content.
Yeah.
And so I always try and push the YouTube one first. Now we've done that. Soon I'll upload the Facebook version. But that's why it didn't get many likes and stuff, because Facebook doesn't want YouTube videos doing well on Facebook, so they bury it, using their algorithm. So 1% of your friends list actually sees it when you share a YouTube video, but everybody in your friends list seems to see it when you share a Facebook video.
And you go, I wonder why no one gave a fuck about that.
Yeah.
But they gave a fuck about my stupid update about having no internet. But the answer is because they don't see it.
Yeah.
And it goes one step even worse, because it's like, well, not only do Facebook get paid, we pay Facebook, because then they ask you for money to like share it and have it pop up as a thing, as a sponsored thing.
Yeah.
So it's really quite sickening. But if you want to check out that teaser, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend that you do.
Go along to YouTube and search Pigville, and you'll find us. Search Pigville, you'll find us. The teaser's called No Caller ID, short film teaser, I think.
Yep.
And you can watch it there. Please hit like, please subscribe. Pigville, No Caller ID. But I will also be uploading it to Facebook soon, so go along to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Guy and Harley, or facebook.com/Pigville Productions.
Well, it's that time.
What time?
It's the time for me to go away and drink some whiskey.
Right.
But hopefully you will come as well, although you've been very reluctant.
Well, see, we have been invited out to a very cool local bar called Mea Culpa in Ponsonby.
Yep.
And we've been invited out by a very cool dude.
Yep.
Jason Montreal, as I know him. I'm pretty sure it's not actually his last name.
No, it's Rosen, but yeah.
And he has invited us out. But the thing is, it is pissing down. I am road tripping early in the morning on my very first motorcycle road trip.
Yep.
Don't need to be hungover. And I have not practiced my my speech for the talk tomorrow, which is the whole purpose of the road trip. So I do not see me going out.
On the other hand, free whiskey.
I do love free whiskey.
This is my pitch to you. I'll pitch it to you on the podcast. Okay. We take my car, right?
Yeah.
So you've got the ride in, right? Have a couple of whiskeys. You drive home in my car. I maybe come with you if I'm feeling like it, or I maybe stay and have more drinks. That way, you're all sorted. You don't have to stay long. You've got the car. Boom, boom, boom. We're done skis.
But I've just drunk probably around 100 mils or so of tequila during this podcast. So that's going to cut into my whiskeys.
That is going to cut into your whiskey, or not, depending.
Was that a subtle advocation for drink driving? We won't delve into it.
I don't advocate drink driving, but I sometimes may drink one more than is legally allowed.
Have you seen these fucking ads that are like, drink driving, know your limit? And it's such a man, they piss me off. There are these ads, right, where a family, the kids, it's like mum, dad, and the kids are at a friend's house having dinner, and they have some glasses of wine with dinner. And then the dad's like, oh, I drank too much. Can you drive, honey? And she's like, yeah, I only had like 2 glasses of wine, I'll drive. And he's like, oh, thanks, babe, I owe you, and then they drive along and they don't burst into flames. They don't have a big, horrible fucking crash. All that happens is they get to a police checkpoint. They check her. She's driving fine. There's nothing wrong. They check her and they go, oh, I'm sorry, that's over 250 milligrams or whatever it is. Yeah. You're going to have to come with me for a blood test, and you remove the right to remain silent and all this stuff. And then it's like, drink driving, know your limit.
And it's like, clearly she did know it very well, but she just was, over the legal limit.
Well, it's more, exactly. It's more just that, don't even try to be responsible. He might as well have driven. And,
he went all over the road, just going crazy. Well, if that's the message.
Well, because it seemed to me to be saying, like, don't drink and drive because we will
catch you.
We will pay you. We will make you pay a whole bunch of money for something which is dumb.
Even if you've really had fuck all to drink and are not drunk and are totally fine.
Yeah.
Because the new limits means that even if you've done that, you're fucked.
Yeah.
I don't really think it's a great message. I mean, look, I don't I think obviously we should be stopping drink drivers, but But one whiskey, it can't hurt you, Harley. Get on in there.
Well, we'll let the listeners know next week whether or not I went along.
All right. And we will see you next time.
It's very hard to describe how much he meant to me. You had to live in his time. It's great to look at clips, and it's amazing that we have them, but to live in his time, watching his fights, experiencing the genius of his talent was absolutely extraordinary. Every one of his fights was an aura of a Super Bowl. He did things nobody would do. He predicted the round that he would knock somebody out, and then he would do it. He was funny. He was beautiful. He was the most perfect athlete you ever saw, and those were his own words.
You've been listening to the Guy and Harley podcast, proudly brought to you by Pigville Productions.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.